The next planet was inhabited by a tipper. This was a very short visit, but it plunged the little prince into deep dejection. "What are you doing there?" he said to the tipper, whom he found settled down in silence, before a collection of empty bottles and also a collection of full bottles. "I am drinking," replied the tipper, with a lugubrious air. "Why are you drinking?" demanded the little prince. "So that I may forget," replied the tipper. "Forget what?" inquired the little prince, who already was sorry for him. "Forget that I am ashamed," the tipper confessed, hanging his head. "Ashamed of what?" insisted the little prince, who wanted to help him. "Ashamed of drinking." The tipper brought his speech to an end and shut himself up in an impregnable silence. And the little prince went away, puzzled. "The grown-ups are certainly very, very odd," he said to himself, and he continued on his journey. Setting of this chapter is third planet was inhabited by a tipper. Moods are perplexed, dejected, and ashamed. Themes are childhood and adulthood. Characters are the little prince and the tipper.
In chapter 13, for the setting, the planet that Little Prince visited is owned by a businessman. He always counts stars in the sky, which makes him think that he will be rich and he will own all of those stars he counts and finds. Mood in this chapter includes busy previously or angry and selfish. We can get the busy mood when the businessman counted the stars and didn't have time to answer Little Prince's questions. Then he answered with peevishness. And what the businessman does make us feel that he is a selfish grown-up.
Theme of this chapter includes greedy and empathy. We will know when the little prince argues with the businessman about possessing something. Businessman thinks that if he can find out our cow star, he owns them, and the little prince rejects this idea and gives new example. When we own something, we should pay attention to what we will own it. Character includes little prince and a businessman.
Number 1. Characters: The Little Prince and the Lamplighter. 1. The Little Prince, he is sympathetic and curious. 2. The Lamplighter, he is honest and responsible. Number 2. Mood. The mood is sad.
Number 3. Setting. The fifth planet was very strange. It was the smallest of all. Number 4. Theme. Think of others more than yourself.
The fifth planet was very strange. It was the smallest of all. There was just enough room on it for a street lamp and a lamplighter. The little prince was not able to reach any explanation of the use of a street lamp and a lamplighter. Somewhere in the heavens, on a planet which had no people and not one house, but he said to himself, nevertheless,
It may well be that this man is absurd, but he is not so absurd as the king and the concerted man, the businessman, and the tipper. For at least his work has some meaning. When he lights his street lamp, it is as if he brought one more star to life, or one flowers. When he put out his lamp, he sent the flowers or the star to sleep. That is a beautiful occupation, and since it is beautiful, it is very useful. When he arrived on the planet, he respectfully saluted the lamplighter.
Good morning. Why have you just put out your lamp?
Those are the orders. Good morning.
What are the orders?
The orders are that I put out my lamp. Good evening, and he light his lamp again.
But why have you just lighted it again?
Those are the orders.
I don't understand.
There is nothing to understand. Orders are orders. Good morning. And he put out his lamp.
Then he mopped his forehead with a handkerchief decorated with red squares.
I follow a terrible profession. In the old days, it was reasonable. I put the lamp out in the morning and in the evening. I light it again. I had the rest of the day for relaxation and the rest of the night for sleep.
And the orders have been changed in that time?
The order have not been changed. That is the truly from year to year. The planet had turned more rapidly, and the orders have not been changed. Then what?
Then the planet now make a complete turn every minute, and I no longer have a single second for repose. Once every minute I have to light my lamp and put it out. That is very funny. A day lasts only 1 minute here where you live.
It is not funny at all. Well, we have been talking together. A month had gone by.
A month?
Yes, a month, 30 minutes, 30 days, good evening.
As the little prince watched him, he felt that he loved this lamplighter who was so faithful to his orders. He remembered the sunsets which he himself had gone to seek. In other days, Mary by pulling up his chair, and he wanted to help his friend. You know, I can tell you a way you can rest, whenever you want to.
I always want to rest.
For it's possible for a man to be faithful and lazy at the same time. Your planet is so small that 3 stars will take you all the way around it. To be always in the sunshine, you need only walk along ladder slowly. When you want to rest, you will walk, and the day will last as long as you like.
That doesn't do me much good. The one thing I love in life is to sleep.
Then you're unlucky.
I am unlucky. Good morning. And he put out his lamp.
That man would be scorned by all the authors, by the king, by the consultant man, by the tipper, by the businessman. Nevertheless, he is the only one of them all who does not seem to me ridiculous. Perhaps that is because he is thinking of something else beside himself. He breathed a sigh of regret and said to himself again, "That man is the only one of them all whom I could have made my friend. But his planet is indeed too small. There is no room on it for 2 people." What the little prince did not dare confess was that he was sorry most of all to leave this planet, because it was blazed every day with 1,440 sunsets.
Chapter 15 Short Story. There is a geographer on the 6th planet. When the little prince sat down on the table, he showed interest in the old man's book and come to know the old geographer. The little prince asked the geographer if he knew the location of seas, rivers, cities, mountains, and deserts on his planet. But the geographer couldn't answer because he wasn't an explorer. The geographer asked the little prince to describe his star to him. The little prince explained that his planet contained 3 volcanoes and flowers.
The geographer told the little prince that he had chosen to save the mountain because it would not change its position, but the flower was ephemeral, lived only temporarily. Knowing that, the little prince was very sad. After that, the geographer advised him to go to the planet Earth. Character: the little prince and geographer. Setting: the 6th planet. Mood: curious and sad. Theme: education, because they learn about each other world.
Chapter 16
So then the seventh planet was the Earth. The Earth is not just an ordinary planet. One can count there 101 kings, and including the Negro kings among them, 7,000 geographers, 90,000 businessmen, 75,000 tribals, 310 million men, about 2 million grown-ups, and before the invention of electricity, it was necessary to maintain, over the whole of the 6 continents, a veritable army of 462,511 lamplighters for the street lamps.
Seen from a slight distance, that would make a splendid spectacle. The movement of this army would be recorded. This those of the ballets in the opera. First would come the turn of the Ramparter of New Zealand and Australia. Having set their lamp aright, this would go off to sleep. Next, the Ramparter of China and Siberia would enter of their step in the dance, and then they too would be waved back into the wings. After that would come the turn of the Ramparter of Russia and India, then those of Africa and Europe, then those of South America, then those of North America, and never would they make a mistake in the order of their entry upon to state. It would be magnificent. Only the man who was in charge of the single lamp at the North Pole and his colleague who was least possible from the single lamp at the South Pole. Only these two would live free from toil and care. They would busy twice and years.
Character: geographers, businessmen, trippers, considered men, lamplighters. Setting: the 7th planet. Mood: magnificent, step-by-step method. Theme: education.